The Texas Rangers experienced the ultimate World Series hangover in 2024, dealing with underperformances and injuries to eventually finish 6 games below 500. Now, with the revamped lineup and deGrom back on the hill, the Rangers are looking to rekindle their championship winning form. And today we'll cover all of that and more in the 2025 Texas Rangers preview. The Rangers made a splash at the beginning of December, grabbing Jake Burger from the Miami Marlins in exchange for Max Acosta, Brian Mendoza, and Echedry Vargas. Burger is a StatCast darling, hitting the ball very hard, very often. He was able to slug 29 homers for the Fish in what was considered a down year. Burger did most of that work in the second half of the season, where he posted a 901 OPS with 19 of those home runs. If the Rangers can get that sort of player, then they did extraordinary in the trade, lengthening the lineup and giving Burger a place to hit where he isn't the emphasis of the lineup. As for the prospects given up, the Rangers did really well not to give up too much in the deal. Acosta and Vargas are both middle infield types who are fine, but don't have the elite tools that separate them from the pack. Mendoza also doesn't have the highest ceiling, offering a subpar fastball and two solid secondary pitches. He has good control and at best will be a back end of the rotation sort of starter. As a corresponding move, the Rangers sent Nathaniel Lau to the Nationals in exchange for Robert Garcia. Lau is one of the few players on the Rangers who stayed consistent with the bat in 2024, posting a 762 OPS with 16 homers and 69 RBIs, while staying elite defensively at the first base spot. Lau became expendable after the Jake Burger trade, and they used Lau's services to trade for a lefty reliever with some serious upside. Across Robert Garcia's 2 year MLB career, he's been just about league average, posting a 4.03 ERA across 97 appearances. What makes Garcia so appealing is his ability to pitch to both lefty and righties and get strikeouts. He avoids barrels and doesn't allow a ton of walks, not to mention he is above average at inducing grounders and getting batters to swing out of the zone. Truthfully, there isn't much to poke holes into the game other than his ERA, and in theory, that should stabilize in 2025. However, the Rangers offseason didn't stop with a few trades as they signed free agents in the form of Jock Peterson, Luke Jackson, Chris Martin, Hobby Milner, Sean Armstrong, and Luis Cervello. Beside the clear intent to rebuild the bullpen, Peterson is the biggest name off the list. Last season, Peterson posted a 908 OPS with 23 bombs in Arizona and continues to crush right handed pitching. He just brings another thumper to this lineup that was built with a ton of heavy hitters and should be able to shine in Texas. As for losses, you can see why the team had such an emphasis on the bullpen after losing Kirby Yates and Jose Leclerc, as well as starters Max Scherzer and Andrew Heaney, as well as catcher Carson Kelly. Of the players, Yates had the most impactful season last year, posting a 1.17 ERA across 61 appearances and locking in 33 saves, finishing 8th in Cy Young voting. Definitely going to be a hard season to replace, but bullpen value can be replaced more easily than other positions. That brings the projected roster to Jonah Heim behind the dish, Jake Burger at first, Marcus Semien at second, Corey Seager at short, Josh Jung at third, Wyatt Langford in left, Carter in center, Garcia in right, and Peterson sharing the DH spot with Kyle Higashioka. That leaves Ezekiel Duran and Josh Smith as utility options, and Leody Taveras as a fourth outfielder. As you can see from the Zips projections, the team has so many strengths across the board, with 5 out of 10 of those positions to finish within the top 10 of value provided, with Marcus Semien projected to finish as the most impactful second baseman. The rotation is projected as Nathan Eovaldi and deGrom at the top, with John Gray, Tyler Mahle, and Cody Bradford filling out the rest of the starter spots. The unit is projected to finish with the 10th most value of any unit in baseball, but a lot of that hinges on a healthy season from Jacob deGrom. The bullpen is also projected to be the 10th most valuable in baseball, despite not having the household names from last year. For players who can break past the projections, we have to start with the previously mentioned Jake Burger, who's penciled in for 32 homers and a 763 OPS. But as an everyday first baseman, there is room for Burger to do it more consistently. Without an emphasis on Burger in the lineup and a defensively easier position, opportunities should be more abundant for Burger in 2025. Combine that with his performance across the second half of the year, and it could be a big year. At the very least, Burger should be able to outproduce the 21st ranked first baseman position group in baseball. And then there's Evan Carter, who graduated from his prospect status in 2024 and didn't look anywhere close to the hero we saw in 2023. Carter as a prospect was mashing and took it a step further in his time in the majors and playoffs in 2023. However, 2024 was not the same version of himself in just his 45 games played, posting a 633 OPS and seeing every statistic pretty much take a hit. Even if we saw the mix of the two versions of Carter, we would still be getting a player outproducing his projections. We also have to take into account that Carter is just 22 years old and should improve moving forward. The move to center should be able to utilize his speed more, and it could turn the youngster into one of the top players at the position. For prospects, the highest rated of the bunch that can make an impact in 2025 is Kamar Rocker, who we have heard about for a really long time, and we finally got to see him briefly at the MLB level last season. In 3 starts, he posted a 3.86 ERA in just 11.2 innings. Rocker makes his name off his big time fastball, slider, and curveball combination with a changeup and decent control. He's been dominating the minor leagues, and it would just be great to see him build up his innings this season. And then there's Rocker's former collegiate teammate Jack Leiter, who was once viewed in a similar light to Rocker, but has struggled to find the form we saw from him in college. Despite his struggles, the Rangers have progressed him up the minor leagues naturally, and even made his debut in the majors. However, his struggles followed him, posting an 8.83 ERA and was sent back down to the minor leagues. The control for Leiter has went by the wayside and has drastically changed his outlook as a pitcher. Hopefully, he can find the fix to the issues plaguing him so we can see the pitcher we were once promised. For other prospects that could make their impact on the major league roster, we have Emiliano Teatro, Justin Foscue, and Winston Santos. Teatro and Santos have big time stuff as pitchers, with Foscue being a really plus hitter in the minor leagues, but has had his struggles in the majors. The Rangers are unlikely to be sellers at the deadline, but they do have a number of expiring deals to keep an eye on as the season progresses in John Gray, Tyler Malley, Luke Jackson, Chris Martin, Sean Armstrong, Hobby Milner, and Kevin Pillar, with Jock Peterson having a $21.3 million player option. As for injuries, there are just a couple to mention, with Josh Spores missing the first chunk of the season with shoulder surgery, and top prospect Alejandro Rosario going to miss all of 2025 with Tommy John surgery. It's unfortunate that Rosario can't continue to build off an electric 2024 that saw him launch up the prospect rankings. But that brings us to the overall projections for the team. At their floor, where everything goes wrong, this team should be better than last year. They have way too many young players on the rise, combined with excellent stars, to be any worse. With that in mind, if deGrom can't make it through the season and the youngsters fail to step forward, we're looking at an 82 and 80 team. At their ceiling, where everything clicks, this team could finish at 96 and 66. The rotation depth and bullpen do have their concerns, and we know this team's history with health. So with that mix between the highs and lows, this team should finish at 92 and 70. Let me know where you had the Rangers finishing the 2025 season. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.